geological geological knowledge. So in the previous video we have discussed about the some basics of geological mapping, in which we have discussed the basic uh, overview that what are the information contained into the map in a geological map, or the some basic information like scales, okay, and their designation or their index, that is also been discussed in the previous video. So today we will discuss the remaining some factors which are very important to understand in order to identify or decipher a geological map. So the next one is, or the important component of geological map is the shape of the ground. Okay, that what is the shape of the ground, or we can say the method of showing the relief features. Okay, so that is important to decipher and to know the shape of the ground. So what is the relief, or what is the elements of relief? So we will talk about all those things. So the representation of relief on a map, that is showing of the heights and as well as the shapes of the ground. So relief means the height and the shapes of the ground above or below a datum, which is the sea level. So datum means the uh, and place, a place from where the heights are measured, and generally the datum, that is the sea level. From sea level the heights are measured. Okay, and the elements of relief, so heights as well as the shape form two distinct elements of relief. Okay, when we talk about the elements of height, so basically there are two elements of relief, that is the height as well as the shape of the ground. And if we talk about the representation of height is a factual information, and whereas the shape may be a larger artistic. Okay, so representation of height, that is a factual information given in the geological map, but the shape, that is a largely artistic thing. And if we talk about the unit of vertical measure, so the standard unit of measurement is meter or in the feet. So basically the units of vertical measure, those are in the unit of meters or the feet. And if we talk about the representation of height, so height without reference to shape are shown by fixing the height above mean sea level at selected points. Okay, and next very important one is the scale and the distance measurement. Okay, scale and the distance measurement, that is a very important factor in order to understand or read a geological map thoroughly. So what is the definition of scale? That is very important to understand the definition, or generally we call them the basics. The basics are very important to understand, only then you can be able to understand the more other things. So what is the scale? So scale is of a map that can be defined as the relationship between the horizontal distance between 2 points measured on the ground and between the same points measured onto the map. So how we define the scale? So scale is the relationship or the horizontal distance between 2 points. Horizontal distance between same 2 points measured on the ground, as well as the between the same 2 points measured on the map. So that is the relationship of the distance, and the relationship is constant in whichever direction the distance are measured. Okay, so means the direction is also very important, that this relationship is constant, but the direction, that in whichever direction the distance is measured, that is important. Okay, there are two methods of expressing the scale of a map. Okay, so first one is by the representative factor or the representative fraction known as the RF factor. So that is the 1:50,000 scale. When we say that is the scale of the map is 1:50,000 scale, so that is the representative factor of the map, or the representative factor of the scale, better say. And whenever we depict it in the words format, So that is a 1 inch to 1 miles or 2 centimeter to 1 kilometer. That is decided according to the shape and the size of the map. Okay, so the scale is dependent on the size and the scale and the information provided, information or the inputs provided into a geological map. And what is the representative factor? That is also important, and we call it better known as the RF factor. So that is the standard method of expressing a scale on all maps wherever the metric system is used. Okay, so RF factor is the standard method for the expression of the scale on the all the maps. And what does the meaning, what is the meaning of 1 is to 50,000? That is very important to understand, that what is the meaning of 1 is to 50,000 and whatever scale is there. So basically the scales are given into 1 is to some numbers are given there, 1 is to 1000, 1 is to 20,000 or 1 is to 50,000. So that varies, but the meaning of that thing, that is constant. So what is the meaning when we say the 1 is to 50,000, the scale of the map? So 1 is to 50,000 scale means that the 1 inch, 1 centimeter or 1 meter, whatever you say. If the scale is given in inch, you will call is 1 inch, or if in centimeter or meters respectively, so we will call it 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter of on the map represents 50,000 inches, or the 50,000 centimeter, or the 50,000 meters, whatever you say. Okay, but it's important and it's very essential to know, if you are saying 1 inch, then it should be 50,000 inch, or 1 centimeter, so it should be 50,000 centimeter. So 1 inch represents on the map represents 50,000 inch respectively on the ground. Okay, so this is the meaning of the scale. Okay. And in the case of the scale expressed in the words, and when we express the scale in words, that means 1 inch on map represents 1 mile on ground. Okay, or 2 centimeter on map represents 1 kilometer on the ground. So this number varies, whether 1 mile or 2 mile or 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter or 1 or 2 kilometer. So that varies according to our demand or to our the requirements, and more importantly on the shape and the size of the map. So that can vary, but your basic or your the basic information or the basic meaning of that term, that is the same. Okay. Another important thing for the map is the directions. It's very important to identify then which direction the observer is, or in which direction the object is. Object means any rock type, any temple or any man-made feature. Okay, so that is the observer, sorry, object. So all directions are measured by bearing. Okay, so what is bearing and back bearing? That is field work. Okay, so bearing is the position of an object with respect to the observer. Suppose you are in the field and you are taking the bearing of an object. Suppose you are taking the bearing of an temple. So what will be the bearing? So bearing is the position of that temple with respect to you. You means the observer. And what is the back bearing? The position of object with respect to observer. Sorry, the position of observer with respect to the object. Okay, so that is the back bearing. Bearing and back bearing, that is very important factors when we go into the field, because it's very essential. Whenever you see a object or whenever you see any rock type, you will have to take the bearing and back bearing. Okay, so after this video we will discuss about the geological basics of geological field, that what are the features and what are the requirements when you go into the field. So all the directions, those are measured by bearing, and the bearings are the angles measured clockwise from a zero line, which is the direction of north. So north direction is also known as the zero line, because all the directions they are taken from the north. So north is the zero line. There are basically three types of north, okay, and they all are important, and we must understand the basics and their differences, that how to distinguish between these three norths, each of which differs by a small amount. Okay, some small differences are there. And what are these norths? That is the true north, okay, the grid north, or the magnetic north. So what is the true north? So true north is the direction of north pole, okay, so north pole की direction है, that is known as the true north, which on the map is shown by a line of longitude or the meridian. Okay, so that is shown by a line or the line of line of longitude or the meridians. And bearings measured from the true north, those are known as the true bearing. Okay, and what is the grid north? So grid north is the northern direction of north south grid line on a map. Okay, so if you have seen a map or stereographic projection, when we go for the stereographic projection, the northern direction of north south grid line, that is known as the grid north. Okay, and grid system being a rectangular system imposed on a curved surface, it cannot fit the lines of longitude and latitudes, except along the standards, the meridian on which the grid is based. There is a small angle between the directions of grids north and the true north. Okay, so the small angle is there between the directions of grid north and as well as the true north, which increases with the distance of which increases with distance east or west from standard meridians. Okay, so the distance of true north as well as the grid north, that increases when we move from the distance of east and west from the standard meridian. And grid bearing are commonly used for the map. Okay, grid is commonly used for the map reading purpose. And what is the so magnetic north? You all will be knowing that is the direction in which the compass needle points when free from the error or disturbance. Okay, if the compass or the Brunton compass or the clinometer compass, if that is free from be displayed from its position. Okay, there can be 10 to 1 to 2.5 2 degree or 5 degree error because of disturbance or instrumental error. Direction is to be magnetic pole north and uh, north pole. There is an very slightly okay, and because they are also the magnetic angle. So the angle between the grid, so you must understand basic term. Okay, here are three components mainly: the magnetic, the of these grids or the turns revolves around this. Okay, stand by which north or magnetic or the direction. Okay, particular also. Of view, not for orienting is the map so that direction to details on the ground correspond with the same direction on the map. Means in which direction you are standing or the object is there, direction your map is also there. Okay, on the basis of some uh, some methods are given there. Okay, there are two basic methods of setting a map: by inspection of the surrounding details. So in the area you are entered, so you can inspect the area, surrounding areas. Okay, suppose a temple is there, so you must be knowing the temple, the position, especially the direction of the temple. So that can be very important for you to understand that direction of other objects or the direction of the map. So direction in the map as well as the direction in the ground, these two things should be in the same angle or in the same direction. Okay. Some idea of his own position. This is very important. How to orient a geological map? So you can orient a geological map by inspection. That is the simplest and the quickest way, provided that one has to idea of his own position. If you don't have your idea that in which position you are, so how you identify the what are the some ways or the uh, some factors on which you can decide the direction on a straight road. Okay, by locating some prominent house, church, temples or the bridges, and a hilly area on shape of ground. Third is not precise the on a straight road. So in geological map, in that map you can pinpoint that road, and manually you can point out the direction of that road. So that will be very helpful to define the direction of the map. By locating some prominent house or any church or the temple or any bridge, so if you know the direction of that particular object like house, church, temple or the road or the bridge, so that can be helpful for orienting your direction of the direction of the geological map. Okay, So these were some ideas or some options from where you can orient yourself or the orient the maps. And map can be more accurately oriented by use of compass. Okay, if you are not able to orient the map on the basis of the factors we have discussed, like straight road, location or hilly area, the best very safe method is to orient yourself by the basis of with the help of the compass, both clinometer and by applying suitable correction for the declination. If the declination is there, you must correct it, okay, or the error. If error is there, so that instrumental error is there, so that can be identified. And if you know the instrumental error, so that out. But the use of Brunton compass as well as the clinometer compass, that is very important to locate yourself into the area. To find one's own position or location on the map, he has to orient the map by use of compass. So these are some field instruments, okay, Brunton compass, clinometer compass, okay. So these are very important instruments, and whenever you go into the field, you must know the basics of these instruments, okay. These basics, these instruments are very handy in your field work. And if you don't know the basics, that how many features, what the features they contain, so how can you orient, how can you use the, how can you take the profit of those instruments? They, I hope all would have liked it for you to understand the basics, because these are the fundamentals of the geological maps. If you don't know about these fundamentals, then it will be very tough for you to understand the geological maps basically when you are in the field, okay. So this will be very helpful whenever you go into the field. Watch it, surely it will help you, okay. Thank you.